Hello, welcome again to Willow Talk. Adam Peacock and Brad Haddin again. Captain is away trying to captain Australia to wins over South Africa, which is fair enough. Elisa Hilly, she'll be back soon. But Hads, how are things, mate?
Mate, it's been good. Test series is done and dusted. We've all got over that. We've debriefed everything there. Now let's get into the one days.
And plenty of awards to give away. This is our Willow Talks Test Summer Awards. We're going to look ahead to the one-day series as well against the West Indies, which I reckon's taken on a bit of extra meaning after what happened at the Gabba. Discuss England's dramatic win in the first test against India and what to expect coming up. Bazball, the live Hads. How good?
Well, that was as good as win as you'll ever see in Test cricket. And that's hard to say. I feel uncomfortable. I feel sick in the stomach.
Go have a wash.
Well played, England.
Well played, England. And Travis Head is coming up later. We'll hear from Trav out of the Test Summer, looking ahead to the one-dayers as well. Big thanks, as always, to everyone who has followed us on social media. Find us by searching Willow Talk Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. The videos are firing away on there. We put clips up of the show, post polls to get your say. And it's also the best way to get in touch. Slide into our DMs like Courtney has, who sent us a message last week after the Big Bash final saying, someone check on Mr. Magenta. How's Bradley going to say the Sixers were robbed out of that one?
Well played, Heat.
Sorry, didn't hear you. What happened?
Well played.
Who?
Played.
Who played well?
You know what? Move on. We don't need to talk about that. I still haven't got over it. I've got my magenta pen.
He's got a magenta. It's a pink highlighter. I reckon it's a magenta highlighter. He kind of works.
Well played, Heat. You outplayed the Sixers. The game didn't need it. No one wanted to see that. There's 43,000 people there in magenta. You were the only person there in your Heat jersey. Well played, Heat.
Thank you, Courtney, for that wonderful message. Outstanding. Now, so as we sit here, the Australia Cricket Awards have been run and won and announced and all of that, and we can go back to the show earlier in the week and have a look at who actually won those awards and if we were right about them. But we're recording this before those awards, so that's why we're not going to go into great detail about it, because we've got our own awards, Hads. That's, I mean, the AB medal's important, the Belinda Clark medal's important. There's nothing like the time-honoured first annual Willow Talk Awards that we're going to have.
Well, this is the one the players really look into.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't have to sit there in their suit and pretend to smile when the camera's on and put their drink under the table when they've had too much and the camera's on. So we'll get to the bottom of who really was the best player in the Australian cricket team.
What I think we should give our winners as well is one of your 87,000 trucker hats that you have. You come in with a new one every week.
We'll keep sending them in, viewers. They've become quite popular, actually. A lot's lobbing on my doorstep. So thank you. What have I got on today?
You've got Allied Beef on today. I've only got the one, and you should see the inside of this thing. Oh,
be a lot of hair sticking to it, actually.
Yeah, it's the color. It's the color of a creek that can't get into the ocean. The inside of this hat.
Keep sending your truckers in. We'll put them on the show.
Exactly. Right. So these are from the Test Summer.
Yep.
And we'll have Hads' winner and the fans' winner for the following awards. And we're going to start with this, the Shark Tank Award for Best Pitch of the Summer. I love the double meanings that producer Sam have come up with this. So it's the best deck of the summer, but it's the Shark Tank pitch. Get it?
Yep.
Anyway, nominees, MCG, SCG, Adelaide Oval. What was your best, Hads?
Mine was, I tell you what.
Don't say Gabba, because we didn't have it in the three.
Mate, Gabba's always one of the best wickets in the world.
Actually, before you go, just a special mention for the crew at the Gabba for the field on that last day. Because you opened the curtains and you said, this is biblical. Yeah. Like animals are lining up in pairs outside the hotel, but they got on time. Anyway, carry on.
Well, the Gabba's always been now for that. You get, it used to be a tough place to go as a young Shield player, because the night before, it would be pouring down. The senior players would twist your arm and say, oh, we've got a day off tomorrow. Then you'd open the curtains with closed eyes. You'd think, oh, no. And it used to drain inside half an hour. So it's a real trap for young players, the Gabba.
But best deck of the summer out of those three I mentioned for the Shark Tank Award for Best Pitch?
There's my two favourites. The MCG, I've liked how they've turned around. I remember a couple of years back, they got a poor rating, and that was a couple of poor ratings in consecutive test years, where if you get another one, you're going to lose the MCG test match. So we didn't want you to lose Boxing Day. So that's probably the most complete complete pitch.
Yep.
The SCG, I like that it went back to a dry, slow turner, the old characteristics. So for me, I'm going to say the SCG.
God, you're biased.
The reason why is it didn't have the carry or that of the Gabba or the MCG. It went a little bit closer to what the SCG used to look like, a slow turner.
Well, the fans disagree. MCG with 51%, Adelaide Oval with second was with 28%, and SCG third with 21%. So you're against the fans there, Hads, but thank you for all these votes. Now, the next Shawshank Redemption Award for Breakout Player of the Summer. Again, double meaning, breakout, etc. Nominees, there are only two, Amir Jamal and Shamar Joseph. Now, Jamal was great. I loved watching him play, especially what he did at the MCG. Which way are you going with this one, though?
Easy one.
Yeah.
Shamar Joseph.
And the fan winner, 91% of the vote. I think it's heavily weighted with recency bias there.
Yeah.
But it's hard to go past that young man who we look forward to watching over the next decade.
Well, the other thing about him, he got 5 from debut. He bowled his team to victory. That didn't happen in the Pakistan series, but he also won the Australian crowd over.
Yeah.
And we know how hostile the crowd can be. When he got the award for Player of the Series, whoever was left at the Gabba cheered.
Yeah.
So that was an easy one.
Yeah, and with the Windies as well, like growing up in the 80s, as we both did, they were always Australian, even when they were pumping us in test matches, there was always like they're our second team, if you know what I mean, because they're so entertaining to watch.
They're entertainers. They used to come out, they got the swagger. Viv had the chewy, no helmet. He used to hook from low to high. Richie hit it for 6. How good.
How good. We've got to get Viv on the show, producer Sam. I'll leave you with that one.
And Richie.
Richie Richardson.
Richie Richardson used to have the big floppy go hook from low to high. Didn't try to hit it down. He just tried to hit everything for 6.
One of my favourite memories of the SCG one day going was turning around. It was against the Windies. You turn around, you look to the left, and there was this bloke with... He made it out of paper mache or something like that. It would have covered 4 seats. The big
sombrero. Must have borrowed it from the Roosters.
Massive hat. Now, the Barbenheimer Award for Best Double Act. Through the year, we obviously had Barbie and Oppenheimer on at the movies. I only saw one of them. Which one do you reckon I saw?
Barbie.
No, Oppenheimer. Love my history. Barbie. What do I want to go watch that?
Take your kids. I had to sit through Barbie.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what happened after 15 minutes. I fell asleep.
My wife took the kids to see that one.
I sat through Barbie.
I didn't take the kids to Oppenheimer, let me tell you. That wouldn't have gone down too well. Anyway, the nominees for the Barbenheimer Award for the Best Double Act. Nathan Lyon and Steve Smith for moving to second on the list of the most prolific bowler-fielder combinations. Mitch Starc and Josh Hazlewood for taking 450 test wickets in matches they played together in. Incredible stat. Dave Warner and his missing baggy greens for finally being reunited. So they're the 3 voting awards. What's the best double act there? For me, it's Hazlewood and Starc. That's an incredible stat.
Well, the double act around Warner's baggy green's an interesting one because we only know David Warner's side of the story. There's someone else's that I think we need to know. I don't think we've got to the bottom of that. But
the truth is lingering in the air somewhere. It's whether or not someone wants to put it.
I think I'm Hazlewood and Starc there. 450 wickets as a combination. That's world class.
Yes. So you are in agreement with our fans. Starc and Hazlewood 50%, Lyon and Smith 30%, and Warner and question mark 20%. Wingardium Leviosa Award for Best Spell of the Summer. Now I'm told, because I haven't read or watched Harry Potter, that this is something to do with Harry Potter. So there you go. Don't hate me for it. Nominees.
Too late.
Spell of the Summer. Hazlewood 3 for zip in 1 over against Pakistan at the SCG. Hazlewood 4 for 2 in 5 overs against the Windies at Adelaide Oval. Shamar Joseph 7 for 68 in those 12 overs against Australia at the Gabba.
Well, Joseph's spell, that was under duress. He had a bad toe. Starkey blew his toe off. He bowled 12 overs straight. It's hard to go past that as a fan favourite, but I'm going to. I'm going to go Hazlewood 3 for none.
Yeah, that won the Test match for Australia.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So the other one.
Well, unfortunately, Joseph gets the 73% in your eyes. Against you, the fan winner is the Shamar. Again, maybe recency bias, but Joshy's 2 spells were fantastic. But Joseph got it just on that toe as well. Like watching it, I thought, as soon as it happened, I went, oh, my God. It's not only blown his,
Yep.
it's literally blown his tail. It's detached.
Yep.
It's going to be somewhere out in the gabba there. It's blown through his shoe. It's the end of it. Did you know straight away there's, oh, my goodness, he is in all sorts of bother here?
Well, when we had a close look at it, it had split. So with the force of the ball, and Stark was bowling, he was very quick for the whole test match. He held his pace, actually.
He was a bit angry, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was
I
a bit on
like it.
edge,
I like an
Starkey.
angry Stark. It's good. It looked like it could have split. We were trying to look where's the bone come through the toe because he couldn't walk off.
No.
He straight away signalled he wasn't going to stay there to bat at all. But then we got the report later that night it wasn't broken. And you think, geez, that's a bit of a carry-on. It hurt, but it didn't break. He's kicked his toe, obviously.
But he woke up the next day and he couldn't move the thing. So something's happened. It was obviously just a really bad cork toe.
Well,
or
it's
something.
obviously painful, mate. Mitchell Stark hitting you there.
Would have been.
It was not out. He could have batted on, actually. Lucky didn't cost him.
Oh, because it was no ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was plumb, but it was a
Yeah.
no ball. So have you, like, give us a story of, I love these old stories, of incidents like that where someone's like literally had their foot blown off by a ball. Have you seen
I've
that
had that
ever
done
happen?
to me.
Oh, yeah?
And
By
I
who?
fell flat in my face.
Who did it to you?
Oh, I'll tell you what happened. We're playing South Australia one day, years and years back. Stephen and Mark Ward were come back in the team, and they had dinner the night before with their brother Dean, who was playing grade cricket with Sean Tate, and Sean Tate was debuting. They said, mate, watch out.
Yeah.
This kid's different quick. And they go, really?
Yeah.
And I was down to come in at 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stephen goes, bowled him out. Just go in at 3. And he's gone wide, Tatey, and blew Caddo stumps out. So I've gone in, stay sharp. I've got my bat up.
Yeah.
He's hit me straight on the toe. I fell on my face. And my bat slid halfway up to the wicket. And as I'm like trying not to show the pain, I've looked up. The umpire's given me out. I had to walk past him, pick my bat up, then try to walk off and not limp. So, yeah.
What did Stephen say when you got back?
Mate, lucky didn't have to bat at 3, I was saying.
Did you pass him? Was
Mate,
he coming out at 4?
I wasn't looking at anyone. I was just trying. I knew I had about 65 metres. I was on the short side at Adelaide to get off and check if my toe was still in my boot. The other one was a funny one. Remember the test match? We got rolled at Cape Town for 40. Everyone remembers that.
47.
But we won the next test. It was Paddy Cummins' first test match.
Mm.
And I was batting with Mitchell Johnson. At the end, he was I think, 40-odd not out, Mitch. And Mitch was running, and he said, something's happened to my toe. And he thought his toe had come out of his shoe. But what had happened, he'd pulled the tendon at the bottom of his shoe, his toe. And his toe just was flopping. And the physio comes on, and he said, I'm about to take him off.
Yeah.
He's going to take him off. And I said, where are you going? He goes, what do you mean? I said, don't take your shoe off.
Yeah.
Mate, what a test match to win. Just stay out. He goes, I can't run. I said, don't worry. You'll be right. I got out next ball. Him and Paddy's seen this home. But Mitch, I think he had 6 months out of the game. He did all the tendons under his foot. And he said, I think my toe's gone through my shoe. And I'm looking down saying, mate, your shoe's intact. What are you worried about? And in the end, it was a pretty serious injury. But
What was it from? Dale Steyn?
no, he just went to turn and he must have put his foot right.
Oh, so it wasn't from a ball.
No,
it
his
was-
tendon just snapped.
Oh, man.
So, but yeah, Tatey one was pretty embarrassing.
God. And then you knew that Sean Tate
It was different.
had a bit of heat.
Yeah. Jeez, it hurt. But the pain I sort of lost because I hit my helmet hit the turf, and my bat was 2 meters away.
I pray to God, if there's a Lord up there somewhere, if there's vision of this
There'll
or
be vision.
photos of it.
I think I can find it. Actually, I might even have a photo of it.
Oh, you beauty. It's up on the wall next to your Dale Steyn Ford defensive shot, is it?
That's a perfect for defence.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful shot. It's just
The
stumps.
stumps went everywhere.
Cartwheeling everywhere. Anyway, back to the awards. So that was the best spell of the summer. Shamar Joseph with his blown off toe. 73% of the vote. Golden Shovel Award for Best Dig of the Summer. Nominees. David Warner, 164 against Pakistan in Perth. Travis Head, 119 against the Windies in Adelaide. And Steve Smith, 91 not out against the Windies in Brisbane. Which way are you going there?
I thought Travis Head's knock was outstanding. The 100 he got in front of his home crowd at Adelaide. His high score previous to that was 41, the first test of summer in Perth. I'm going to go David Warner.
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. 164, but what that did also, it took all the talk away of him not playing the Test match and getting the swan song in Sydney, and it just allowed the summer to flow on. If he didn't get runs there would have been a lot of talk. So that 164 under pressure, I'm going to go David Warner.
Yeah, as well. Like all that talk, all that build-up. Does he deserve to say goodbye at the SCG?
Yep.
Obviously, Mitch Johnson had his opinion, and there was all that build-up to that, and then to come out and do what he did, it's pretty impressive. But our fans don't agree. They put him in third position on 28%, Steve Smith 29%, Travis Head gets it. A lot of South Australians voting, I'm feeling. 47%.
Trav's family's definitely voting.
Trav's voting. Yeah. All the crew from QuickBooks Online as well, they're all voting, the whole company. Anyway.
Mate, I reckon Trav gets half of those votes from his personality.
True.
Everyone goes, you know what?
Yeah.
Trav Head can make Test cricket. I think I can too.
Now, the Willow Talk MVP of the Test summer. Nominees. Mitch Marsh, 380 runs at 54 and 2 wickets. Josh Hazlewood, 25 wickets at 14. Paddy Cummins, 24 wickets at 17 plus a 50 as well. This is a tight race, I reckon. This is pretty tight. Which way are you going?
Well, I had Paddy going into the last Test match. I know he got his highest score in Test cricket. Yep. He got 60, batted outstanding. Hazlewood, I thought he was outstanding with the ball. He didn't get any wickets in Melbourne where Paddy got 10. I thought he could have easily got the wickets then. Then the way he came from Sydney and from there, I'm going to go Hazlewood.
You just miss out in the eyes of the fans.
Shit.
Seconds, 38%, Josh Hazlewood. Mitch Marsh at 22%. Paddy got it with 40% of the vote. So
who'd you go?
Close. I would have had Paddy. Just the way he carried himself through the summer and bowled, it was just elite. So good to watch. And maybe a bit of residual from that World Cup final and the job he did in that one as well, which shouldn't count, but it's kind of in the back of your mind. And no doubt all the people who say to Pat every time there's some kind of failure about Australian cricket, go woke, go broke, which is an interesting way of looking at things given what's happened in the last 12 months. It's quite humorous. Anyway.
Well, I think we're going to have to get amongst the fans more. I need to get a feel from them.
Get out of your little media area up there and just go and talk to people when you're at Test matches.
I get around.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we might need a good old-fashioned Mad Monday with our fans.
Yes. A Willow Talk live event at a pub.
Yeah, exactly right.
Phones off.
100%.
I've got a couple of awards.
Phones.
Before we move on, and we'll have a little look at the one-day series, I've got a couple of awards. I don't have names for them. I'm not as clever as producer Sam. Yeah. Who was the Triple M best, the on-the-road MVP of the Triple M cricket call team? You sound like you have a lot of fun.
Mate, we have a good crew.
Who's your MVP? Your best tourist?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go a non-cricketer.
Yep.
Dan Ganani's the night captain.
Night captain?
Yep.
Loves the day-nighters, does he?
No.
No? What?
He loves all Test cricket.
Yeah.
We just don't know where he is at night.
Right. Okay. Well, how can you give him MVP if you don't know what he's up to?
Because when he comes the next day, he doesn't start his shift. If it's a normal Test match, the shift just before lunch.
Okay.
So he can't do the first 3 shifts.
Righto. So he's enjoying himself.
I think he's having an absolute ball. So the night captain.
Who else is best company, though?
We've got a good crew.
Who leads? Like, who books? Who kind of... You've got to have an organiser about all these things when you're on the road.
Ferg's a good organiser.
Okay, Ferg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Taylor's good with the pubs.
Yep.
He knows where all the drinking holes are.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we have some good organisers for... Lord Beefy.
Yes.
Yeah, he hosted a couple of his farewell dinner and a barbecue at his daughter's place in Melbourne.
Yep.
He put on a good display. So, mate, the whole crew, I could tell you stories about all of them, actually.
Okay, fair enough. What about best syrup barn as a best pub?
We tried most.
Summer.
Yeah, we're really... I can give you some good insight into this. But it would have had to be our wrap party after Sydney.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Everyone was there. You should have been there. Sam was there.
I would have been divorced if I went there, but I'd just been away for a week up in Brisbane.
Well,
I literally arrived 2 hours before you had your first drink. And if I went there, it would have been the end and seeing my kids every second weekend. So no thanks.
Oh, I wish I'd seen mine every second weekend after that because it was a long day the next day.
Fair enough.
Well, it was at Mark Taylor's watering hole. He's got his own little shrine up there. Mark Taylor sits in the same seat. He's got his name
Name the
above it.
pub. You're allowed to.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay.
The Bayview in Gladesville.
Okay.
Rod and his team there put on a good show. It's the second year in a row.
Yep.
That we got there.
I'll try and mark it in the diary for next year then.
Yeah, but if you're going to mark it in the diary, you're going to have to be really careful what you mark in the next day.
Don't do anything.
Do it slowly.
Fair enough.
I tell you who was not bad.
Yeah.
It was his debut on Triple M.
Yeah.
His producer, Sam.
Producer Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was very, very good.
Yes. Excellent.
Taylor got up to sing. We've got footage of that. Mark Taylor got up to sing a song. Through one of the tech guys got up and played guitar.
Yep. How's Tubby go in the vocals? He's another guest we need to get on Willow Talk.
Well, I thought they were strangling a cat because I had my back to it. I wasn't sure what it was, but then it was M. Taylor nailing it.
There you go. Let's get into the one-day series preview. 3-match series starting on Friday in Melbourne. Speaking of hangovers, how hard did they go at the Australia Cricket Awards from overnight? And then they got to play a one-dayer on the Friday. Anyway, they play the one-dayer at the MCG. Then Sydney on Sunday, Canberra on Tuesday. All games 2:30 local time. Old school day-night cricket. The one-dayers. It's all on Fox Cricket, streamed on Triple M as well. So first hit out as world champions. Do they have a little badge on there?
Mate, they should.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to this series. And the reason I'm looking forward to the series are the names that aren't there. Stark, Hazelwood, Camo.
What, don't you like them?
Well, no, we need opportunities for the other players to play with not those guys not around. I'm looking forward to see Lance Morris play. Will Sutherland's got an opportunity as well. Sean Abbott's back there. He's been in and around the team. But I'd like to see these guys play when the main players aren't around. There's no David Warner there.
Yep.
Also, Mitch Marsh is also having a break. So it gives opportunity for players to stand up. And players deal with pressure differently. Some guys can really handle it. Other guys thrive on it and absolutely love it. Some don't love it. But like someone like Aaron Hardy, he's coming into the team. He'll get an opportunity to bat up in the top 4 or 5. So see how they go without all the number one players around. So I think it's a great opportunity for this summer for some people to stand up.
You'd imagine as well, the MCG and a day-night one-dayer, that they give Fraser McGurk and Sutherland a go. Is there anything more than what the crew down there at Bay 13 or whatever it is these days love more than a Victorian performing in a one-day for Australia?
Well, imagine Jake Fraser McGurk going off, like batting for 60 balls. He could be 100
or doing his Cirque du Soleil trick on the boundary.
Well, he's as athletic as anyone in the field. He's a Maxwell clone. The way he plays, he's only got one gear and that's 100% into the fire. So. Imagine if he goes off at the top of the order and the way Bay 13 reacts. Yep. Also got Matty Short there.
Yep.
Matty Short's been there and there around the Australian squad. Hasn't been able to get a game because David Warner and the likes have been there. There's Mitch Marsh. So he's got an opportunity in as good as form as he's ever been in his life to play for Australia. So it's great opportunities.
How far do the selectors look ahead? So we've got the Champions Trophy next year, which is an important one, in Pakistan. Do they have an ideal 11 in their head, or is this pretty much first crack at impressing that puts you way up the pecking order when the big guns all come back?
This is the first opportunity to plan. They're planning now for the Champions Trophy in the next World Cup, and these are the players that are identified that are going to be around for the next few years. So, great opportunity. You've got Marnus still in there, Steve Smith. I like that he's back captaining. He'll enjoy that as well. So it's a great opportunity for him. Adam Zampa's there. We haven't seen him for a while. Travis Head, his one-day form has been outstanding in the last 12 months. So, it's a start of the planning process for the big events.
You had 74 one-day teammates. And I can't claim that. Again, producer Sam has come out. I don't know how the freaking hell you find out. He does not sleep. Like, seriously, how do you find out how many teammates a player has? But he's done it. He's done it. And he's listed a couple of names here. And if you've got a standout kind of story about any of them, because you played with a lot of these guys, we know about all the big names, like household names. But, I mean, sorry, Victoria, but Ian Harvey for the rest of the country is not a household name.
He's a freak.
He's the freak, of course. But guys like Brett Dorey, Brett Geeves, Shane Harwood, and the like. Have you got any stories about these guys?
Mate, Shane Harwood, I used to have some great battles with.
Mm.
With the ball. He was quite confrontational. Stuart Clark and I had some really good goes at Harwood, but he was a good bloke, actually, when we played with him.
Yeah.
But
is that a letdown?
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, it was.
When you find you're actually a good
Brett
bloke.
Dorey was an interesting one.
Mm.
Like, he's taller than Cameron Green.
Yeah.
And I remember him bowling the nets and just thinking, this guy is an absolute genius.
Mm.
Then he came in the game and his pace dropped a lot to what he bowled in the nets.
What,
but
nerves or just...
Oh, maybe the occasion.
Yeah.
And Brett Gees was a funny one. I remember on the tour he went on, we had the likes of, I think Brett was there, Mitch Johnson, Ryan Harris, these guys who were hard and fit, fast bowlers, and got to get in their ice bath. And Brett Gees goes, I'm not taking my shirt off with these blokes. Mate, they were great athletes, but he used to bring a lot of humour to the squad, Brett Gees, when he was there for a short period of time.
There you go. We'll get some more stories over the course of the white ball stuff over the next couple of weeks with Bradley, but we're going to take a little bit of a spell. I'm back in a moment with Trav Head. Trav, thanks for joining us once more, mate. A few days removed from that epic test match. How do you feel about it all? Because it was a weird one. As an Australian cricket fan, we've been talking about it. It's like kind of breathed a bit of life into when we play the Windies now, but you bore the brunt of a loss. So how did it go through your head?
Yeah, I was a disappointing week. Having been in the position a few times in different series where we've retained trophies and not won test matches. But a tough week to take, obviously personally and as a team. We wanted to finish the summer well. Obviously, there's plenty riding on it in terms of World Test Championship points, etc. So, disappointing to rock up to a game of cricket. We felt like we'd done a hell of a lot of work to be in a position to win it, and not is always disappointing.
Shamar Joseph, now we've talked about him a bit on Willow Talk this week, as you can imagine. Were you one of the ones to put your hand up to drive him to the airport so he could go home and not be involved in the one-day series? That was some bowling performance.
Yeah, unbelievable. I think a few guys may mention how good our medical staff was after the night before for his to be hitting the big toe the way he was, and for him to leave the field, and the rumours obviously waking up and getting to the ground and not bringing his kit and then getting up for it and then performing the way he did was unbelievable. But not seeing him in the one days, but I'm sure we'll see him at some point in the near future for the West Indies again and for a very long time.
What makes him so difficult to face?
I just think the way you've got to bowl in Australia and how ruthless he is around that length and how hard he puts in, charges in. He bowled it even under duress in the last day. He still bowled that mid-140s at a hard length with a good bouncer that feels quicker than what it is. And he's always challenging the top of the stump. So and he didn't leave that every time he bowled. So they talked about that coming over here. They were open about that leading in, how they wanted to be disciplined around their length they wanted to bowl and not leaving that. But also you've got to put the effort in, and you got to have ball speed on it, especially in Australia. So he was able to tick all those boxes.
Now, let's briefly acknowledge the elephant in the room, your return in the test match. Given your recent test form at the Gabba, there's talk the Gabba for the Olympics, it's going to be just raised, like sent to the ground and rebuilt. Are you keen on that idea, given your recent record up there with the Willow?
Yeah, mixed emotions. I got off to a good start for a bit there, and then the last 2 or 3 hits have been a bit lean. So first innings was just one of those things. You sort of had to laugh at it, but pretty disappointing in the second. Not much you can do, is it? So you can bat as much as you want, and you can look at how you're feeling, etc. Coming off of 100 the week before, it feels like I'm in good touch, and then you face 2 balls for the week. 1, you feel unlucky, and 2, I just wasn't good enough. So, I'll just hopefully in the one days, I'll prepare well tomorrow and see what the AB medal tonight, and get a training tomorrow and then prepare well and then try to make up for it in the one days.
Doesn't matter if you're playing under 13 reps or at the highest level of cricket. I can't imagine there's a worse feeling. But what's the contemplation like, not only from yourself, but your coaches and your teammates, and who breaks the ice about talking to you after you've experienced obvious disappointment like that?
I broke the ice pretty quickly. When you face 2 balls in a test match, there's not much really you can go by. I walked upstairs and asked the ask our analysts just to piece together all my batting from the week and send it through to me on email. So that sort of broke the ice pretty quickly with the boys. Look, yeah, honestly, there's not much. I just try and blank as a player, and you continue to try and work on the things you can, but you can't really break it down and work out if you're in form or out of form or things. Yeah, you just again, it's I guess a 20 ball duck or batting 20 or 30 balls horrifically, and you can sort of break that down. But to walk out and I guess be a bit unlucky in one sense, and then just not have a good enough defence the second time round, just making sure that I can start well. And I feel like I batted well in Adelaide, so trying to put my mind back to that and try and blank the week and turn it on this week, hopefully.
Beauty of cricket, mate. Beauty of cricket. After the match, though, it looked to be certainly looked to be a better scene than what was happening after the Ashes, or what wasn't happening after the Ashes. The two sides got together and some stories shared and friendships kind of built upon as well between the two sides. Yeah,
it's always nice, obviously, to share a bit of time after the game with the opposition. And I guess a few of them guys are extremely young that haven't won a lot of first-class cricket or test cricket. So for them to obviously pick the brains of someone like Woodsy who's been unbelievable, or Camo, and I think they just relish that chance, and it's something that I haven't really experienced much with that team. So I had a bit of work with obviously Kyle Hooper over the strikers times, and the feedback obviously that I've got from him is how keen they are to work, how excited they are around Test cricket and how much they want to get better, and obviously they had some amazing performances this week, but also on the flip side of that they willing enough to come in the sheds and try to understand a little bit of knowledge and talk about the game, which just reflects where they're at as a team and where they want to get better. And it's always nice to share a beer or a Coke after the game and have a chat. Yeah, how did alcohol mix with Shamar Joseph's obvious high threshold of painkillers coursing through his veins? Or he stuck to lemonades, does he? He wasn't there for long. I think he snuck. There's obviously some footage of him. He snuck a shirt from Pat and vice versa. But he was pretty. He was hobbling around. So I think he was one of the early ones to get back to the other side and just look after himself. And like I said, there's a lot of young guys in that room from the West Indies that were pretty keen to knock into a bit of, especially the bowling group, chat to what's a pretty good bowling attack. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's good to see. It's the way it should be. Mate, it's a week of celebration. Of course, we're recording this before the Australia Cricket Awards, but people are listening to it after, so we'll park that. But understand on Tuesday night, if I'm not mistaken, you guys had a bit of a get-together to finally, take in what happened at the World Cup. And I'm reading somewhere that there were championship rings handed out or something like that, or is that just fake news? I haven't got mine on. I've literally left up in my room. No, there was. So, it was a great chance, obviously, us all being in Melbourne to celebrate the World Test Championship, but also the World Cup. And, obviously it's something that a lot of sports do around the world, is have something to represent the World Cup. And we're lucky enough that James Threadgold from Adelaide, who I have a nice relationship with off the back of the World Cup, and just chatting about something that we could do. We got some rings done, which I'm sure everyone will wear today, be medal as well. So, it's a nice little piece that means you got a couple of bits of memorabilia from that achievement, and they've come up a treat. The boys absolutely loved it, it's the number one thing. But James and Derek did an unbelievable job to get them sorted, and so did CA. And it's a nice little piece to have. So you're the ringstigator, were you? You came up with this concept, and was it a lovely night, and everyone told some good stories? Yeah, so it was me and Zamps, original from the night. So a couple hours after the World Cup, we were sitting there and brought up the idea, and Zamps was the one that sort of ran with it while I was in India still. And then once I got home and we linked back up again, I always knew James and Adelaide was probably the guy that was going to do an unbelievable job for us, and which he did. And so Zamps and I worked together with a few other guys and come up with a design, and and then we had the other night where we were able to celebrate that as a group, and sort of all get presented them, and a few blokes chatted, and it was just a nice moment to all be together. And like I said, it's something in 10, 20 years that we can all look back on or wear together, and something that's pretty special.
How good. Fantastic. One-day series starting this Friday, vice-captain with Steve Smith as the captain, but first time without David Warner. So you're going to be walking out with Matt Short at the start of the innings, or Mitch Marsh, or is it all a big secret?
Big secret at the minute. I'm still acting the way I spoke to Dan Vittoria a little bit, obviously. This morning there's a lot going on with AB, so I'll be training in the morning tomorrow and preparing for the game. So, I think more will come out. I think there's a few guys flying in and out. Obviously, there's a few different faces that we've got in the team. So, a team without Davey for a few more days before the T20 kick in and he's back. So, it'll be a new look for us with obviously what's going to look for the next little period before we ramp up for another World Cup that comes back around. So, another important few years for us in that format, and off the back of being so good in that and winning one, it's a great opportunity for that next sort of team to, with a couple of changes here and there and a couple of different formations that they'll start trialling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jake Fraser-McGurk and Will Sutherland. Great to see him get a crack after a fantastic domestic summer. But the Rooster, Fraser-McGurk, he moved from Victoria to South Australia, but you've been away for like 6 months accruing all kinds of frequent flyer points. Have you even crossed paths? Have you even been in the same dressing room together?
I presented him his cap for his first Shield game, and I did say to him at the time, I think he's an absolute freak, and he can do things that no one else can really do. And then in that game, I think he walked out and hit his first 3 balls 4-6-4 of Shield cricket for South Australia, maybe with a dot somewhere in between there. And then he got a 28 ball 100 in the list A stuff. So I wasn't much. I was a bit tongue in cheek about saying things he couldn't do that anyone else has done, and he honestly can do them. So he's had an incredible few months, obviously, since he's moved. I think it's opened him up, it's released him a little bit. The change of environment, change of people, a good understanding and a good backing of his game. That one, he's going to sometimes make mistakes, but he's an absolute freak. So, trying to ride that balance, and having been someone in my career who's tried to ride those balances and not been as talented as what he has been, but have made mistakes when I was younger and then trying to learn from them. It's nice to sort of see someone that's coming through that can take the game on and especially in Red Bull cricket as well. But his T20 and Big Bash stuff has been crazy in the last couple of months. So, looking forward to him getting his chance at some point in the one-day series. And I know he'll be very, very excited to try to excite the crowd and put bums on seats, which is what he's been doing for the last couple of months.
I mean, you can hit a flamboyant shot or two, but is he the type of batter you've seen in the short amount? And you would have seen him play for Victoria as well and in the Big Bash. He does stuff you as a cricketer look at and go, holy moly, like that just blows my mind.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't got the skill set. I think Jake, Brewster and the next crop of young kids coming through will be probably the byproduct of Davey and Maxie around what they can do. And I guess heroes that grow up and kids that watch like switch hitting it and flogging it miles is sort of those sort of guys. And Jake's definitely one of those. And seeing that next crop coming through that can do extraordinary things, but then still do them for a long period of time. Like I think he got 100 earlier in the Sheffield Shield season as well. And it's great that you can see him doing all 3 formats, and he'll learn and he'll understand the different tempos you can go. But just for now, like the raw talent and ability to go out on the big stage and do it at such a young age is crazy. So plenty of upside, plenty of potential. He's still got a lot to learn, which I think he knows. And if we can get him on track to anything like his potential, we're going to have a hell of a player.
Well, and in the field as well, and you field in the deep, but I'm not sure that's going to happen in the future playing for the Test team, Travis, after your efforts at... you're making life hard for yourself if you want to field in the deep after that run-out, mate. I've neglected to mention it about your Test performance earlier, but some serious skills there in close.
Yeah, well, let's wait until the team changes, and then those pads might get moved on pretty quickly. But for now, I'm in there, and I'm happy to do that little part. I don't know. It's early days. There's a small sample size, so let's just keep going. If I can keep doing it, then that's great. But I'm pigeonholed at the minute, but we'll see.
Yeah, quick way of getting out of there. Drop a few off the captain. Anyway, that's for another day. Last one, mate, before we let you go. Of course, we're sitting here talking before Australian Cricket Awards night and the AB medal presented, of course. Obvious one, you know me by now. I want to know these things. The person you're happy when you sit down and they're at your table, and the person you go, oh no, this is going to be a long night.
There's no one that's going to be a long night. I think boys all get along pretty well, so there's no one in there that would be a long night. But the boys you want on your table, obviously your closest ones. So the Hazewoods, the Cummins, the Marshes. Although I think Mitch and Cummo are probably a red hot crack at it tonight. So only thing being, if you're on one of those tables, you've got plenty of TV time. So, but I think I'll be right with training tomorrow morning. I'll be more on the low key side of things. So. I'll be all right. But I think if you're looking for an enjoyable night, you want to hang out with the guys that maybe not so much of a sniff. But if you end up with Cummins or Marsh and etc. Or Uzi, you might be in for a long night because I'll be on TV a few times, I reckon.
Well, enjoy that evening, and people are listening to it after, and you're at your optional training session, ultra professional, obviously gone beer, water. That's your template for the evening. But Trav, thanks so much for joining us again, mate, and look forward to the one-day series. Should be a bit of fun, and can't wait to have a look at how the Windies back up after the test match and how you guys go as well with these fresh faces.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be exciting. So, look forward to enjoying tonight and everything that comes with it, and cracking in and getting on and getting some runs would be nice.
Sweet, mate. That was Travis Head, thanks to QuickBooks Online. Back with Hads now. India, England coming up tomorrow as we sit here right now. So Friday start to the second test. England shocked India to win by 28 runs in Hyderabad. Now, it wasn't so much of a shock that England won the test match. It's how they won the test match and turning it around. 190 deficit. Hartley, the spinner, if I'm not mistaken, he was none for 50 off his first 5 overs, and he's come back and won the test match for England. Now, with the ball, that with Jack Leach a bit under the weather, I mean, that's an extraordinary turnaround, and yeah, it shows the togetherness of that group. As much as we laugh about Bazball and wonder what it all is all about, that's a tight-knit group to get the most out of a guy who might not be feeling good about himself at the start.
Well, I tell you what, that test match in Hyderabad, you'll go a long way to see a better test match. And to take it back to the start of the game, England were brave in their selections. They picked one fast bowler, Wood.
Mark Wood.
That you had Hardy come in to make his test debut. He wasn't picked there for the first innings. He was picked to what he can do in the second as he bowls quick into the wicket. They were 180 runs behind the game. 190 runs behind the game when they went out for the second inning. Pope's innings was as good as you've ever seen. I was watching going between the West Indies test match and England. That ball was turning off the good part of the wicket. It was going through the top. It was unbelievable turn. You're just thinking, how's he survived this?
Yeah.
Then the way he played the reverse sweeps, he manipulated the field with the way he played. He did something different to what we've seen over there. We talk a lot about, you got to play different in India, but you sort of get it by the end of the series. But the way they played, the way they selected their team, Pope at times was reverse slapping the ball over the keeper's head. And someone like Jadeja, yes, he bowls quick into the wicket. Can use the pace, but they're brave enough to do that. So I know it was hard to say when we spoke about the Sixers losing, but
big breath he had. Come on, you can do it.
Well played, India. Mate, that was an extraordinary result.
Do you believe in Bazball?
Oh, well, what I do believe in is
It's a no.
that they're playing. They're happy to try things.
Yeah.
They're happy to do things differently to what the norm is. And you speak a lot about going to India, and it's a tough place to play. It's so foreign to everything. But England were brave enough to stick to their style, and their style is to be a bit different to what everyone's doing.
Did you realise, and I was impressed by Stokes, the captain in the Ashes series, about the way he was willing to try things and stick to certain matters. And then I know we have a laugh about it. Bazball's about scoring at 6.5 and over, but when it suited Ben Stokes, he'd go 40 off 100 balls to suit himself, but he was anchoring the innings. I've been so impressed about the captaincy. Are you surprised how well he's taken to the captaincy? Because you see it with some players, it just overwhelms them. It hasn't with him.
I'm not surprised that he's brought the team together. He was always one of those characters that players gravitate to. And there's a number of reasons for that as well. He walks into the fire in big moments. We've seen it so many times in Test match cricket. So he had the respect of the group. He's a bit of a lad. He likes a contest. He'll stand up in front of Australia and he'll look you in the eye. So he's one of those players that players gravitate to. So what he says there at the moment is this the style we want to play. But the one thing he's doing, he's saying to his players, I'm backing you. I know you're going to make mistakes. And what they're doing, yes, you talk about Bazball, but the flip side of that, they're playing for Ben Stokes.
Yep.
They're playing for what he stands for.
Which is key. Absolutely key, especially away from home. And Michael Vaughan called it possibly England's greatest win away from home. Hard to think of a better one. And they get the added bonus, if you want to call it a bonus, and India have so much depth, so they might be able to cover. But KL Rahul and Ravi Jadeja out of the second test starting Friday, and still no Virat Kohli as well. So England, box seat, they win the series from here, or too many twists and turns on those wickets?
No, I think India will come back.
Yeah,
I think India are too good in their home conditions. Their record stands up over time. KL Rahul and Jadeja are huge losses. I thought KL Rahul was the best batter in the Test match for India. Jadeja in those conditions is an absolute nightmare with bat, ball, and in the field. But you got Axel Patel that can cover that. But Virat Kohli is an interesting one. It looks like he's still out of that Test match. He's going to miss the first two. So, yeah, that's interesting. And also, they got Harry Brook. Is he missing the whole series, or is he only missing the first two? So he might be available for selection come the third and fourth. But this is going to be fascinating viewing now.
Absolutely. Overall, World Test Championship. So say Australia makes the final. Who would you want Australia to play in the final? India, England, or someone else? What would be the best scenario you could see?
I think the most exciting scenario would be playing England in England, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, the Ashes series was a draw. Maybe that's the way we decided there. So, and we know that they'll take the game on. It'll be exciting to watch. India, not in their home conditions, are a different team. So, I would like to see England and Australia play the Test Championship.
There you go. So that's another episode of Willow Talk in the bank for this week. We'll look ahead to next week. We've got plenty on the way, and I think the captain might join us. Before we go, though, Hads, Risers and Fallers, got any nominations?
I've got a double dose, actually.
Double dose.
I don't know.
A riser or a faller?
It's
or both.
I'm going to let you decide this, and the listeners can. So, night one after the Test match, we're sitting in the hotel bar.
In Brisbane.
Yeah, in Brisbane.
Yep.
At the Western.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we heard this loud bang. Then we heard screeching tyres and another two bangs. It was a drive-by shooting 30 metres away.
What?
There was people running in the hotel. There was a young family with a 6-month-old that come running in the hotel, panicking. Gus Wallen took him upstairs to his room. It was a bit surreal. People were jumping over couches, like crawling to. So one of our tech guys, I'm not going to name his name, he's walked outside for a smoke. And I only knew about this the next day. And I said politely, "What the F are you doing?" He said, "Oh, it was all done." I said, "How do you know? What, did you write the script or something of what happens with?" So, yeah, it's not something that you want to see in Australia. It was a horrible scene, actually.
So that's the faller out of all of that. But the riser is the bravery of the Triple M tech, who just...
That's stupid. He's the faller. The risers, Gus Wall and I, we just took off to back to our room. The rest of the guys stayed down there and continued their beers after things calmed down, which is I'm still trying to get my head around.
Yeah.
But I think the rise has to be Gus Wall. He calmed the situation down. There was a young family there that panicked. They were just going for a walk with their 6-month-old. So took them up, calmed them down. They got a lift home. So
good work.
Yeah, that was extreme. You don't expect events like that in Australia.
Well, I didn't think we were going to end Willow Talk like that, but here we are. We ended Willow Talk like that. And hopefully everyone's okay up there in Brisbane. And Hads, you have a good weekend. We'll catch up next week.
And we'll organise that Mad Monday.
Yeah, can't wait. That was Willow Talk. See you guys.